Alright, hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Michaela.
And together we are Sister G. We're excited to be filming our grad school Thriving versus Surviving video today. So just for some background, I'm applied social community psychology PhD program and
Final year of law school at Northwestern School of Law in Chicago.
I'm a little bitter because I don't know when my final year is going to be,
PhD props.
Nonetheless. We have 2 years under our belt, so because of that we wanted to come together and think about ways in which we were able to either thrive or at least survive grad school and share them all with you. And some of them are, of course, our experiences are grounded in our own programs, but we really do feel like these are going to be helpful for anybody in any type of professional graduate program because they're pretty diverse tips.
With that, we will get started.
Yeah.
So, tip number 1, know your broader trajectory.
Yeah, so definitely what we mean by that is 1, know at least an idea of your ultimate career goal, as well as know the required courses and the required curriculum and milestones within your own program and map those out. So my first semester in college, or my grad school, I actually had to create a 5-year plan, and it was really overwhelming at first, but really helpful for me here.
I think that's correct. I think you have to start with your ultimate career goals. That way you can then work your way back. So when you start with your career goal, that kind of determines what you need to do each semester. And I think you should start at the beginning of each semester and narrowing it down. So what for that semester does your trajectory look like?
Right, and it can change, but to have a broader template was really helpful, and I still use that. I'll insert the template below so you can kind of just get an overview of that. But we definitely encourage, if you're either starting out grad school, do it now, or if you're in grad school, you can still do it and either map out the rest of your program as well as maybe the first year on the market or anything like that.
Correct.
Right. So tip number 2 is, not surprisingly, all about networking. So networking, and that looks differently for the both of us. So for you, what does it look like?
Biggest thing to take away is to make sure that you're actively being successful. So if you go to 5 networking events and you have 50 business cards, but you haven't contacted anyone or set up coffee or lunch, you're doing it wrong and you're wasting your time. The best thing to do is to take away either someone you want to look to when you start applying for jobs who can help you know which firms to apply to, or someone to actually interview you. That's how I got my job.
Okay. So I would say, again, kind of broader speaking, for me networking isn't as frequent or as pertinent right now in my own career. I do go to about 2 to 3 conferences a year, and that's where networking is really vital. I'm able to meet people who study what I study, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on in our journey in terms of what I actually research. But I'm able to connect with other people who are doing the work that I'm doing, and particularly what's really meaningful for me is able to network with other students, particularly students of color. That really replenishes just my soul, my vibe, my ability to continue to study at a PWI. And so again, kind of, I guess I would say networking tips is just being open. Again, always carrying your cards on you, even for other students, and then just being, again, open and willing to connect with other people.
The thing to remember is that you're networking with everyone. I think sometimes we think we're like networking for a specific job immediately, whereas your intention should be networking for the broader future. So you're networking with your peers who are sitting right next to you in class. You guys will all advance at the same rate, and they can be of help.
Your profession is small, and even if it's not small, the number of Black people and people of color in your profession is small, so you want to make sure that you're making a good and lasting impression with all of those people.
Right.
So tip number 3 is
related. Build and maintain relationship with your professors. It is key.
Yeah, for me especially, I don't know, for PhD life, typically you at least enter, with most programs, you enter with under an advisor. So that right there is a professor already, and that relationship is really integral, and I'm happy to talk more about that in a more specific video, or if anybody has questions.
Finding professors that you connect with on a genuine level, especially in programs like law school where everything's uber competitive. Sometimes students try to connect with every professor, and it's just not organic and doesn't get you that far. Professors take the opportunity to take students to coffee or lunch, and I would definitely go on those and be your authentic self. Tell them something about you that they don't otherwise know that they'll remember, and just continue after you take that course. Maybe take a second course with them.
Ditto. I don't have a lot to add to that. I would say like those are the people, at least like within my program, find professors, because these are the people that can, one, help you. They've done the journey. They know how to help you, mostly, kind of generally speaking, of course. Like, so find those people who are in your corner. And then also, like, these are the people who are like writing you letters of recommendation. You need those to get to the next level. So the more that they know about you and authentically know about you, the better that they can help you get there. Next one is time management. I know, like,
every grad student.
Duh. But for like, this really has been key and essential to my like peace of mind in graduate school.
I think it's probably the biggest difference between, or at least for me, between surviving and thriving.
Yeah.
Being busy or being booked is not being booked and busy does not mean being successful.
Honey, just because you have stuff on your calendar or you're not home or you're not laying down does not mean that you're being productive.
You can be at the library for 12 hours, but if you're not actually following a strict schedule or managing your time, i.e. the tip, then you're not going to thrive.
So the way that we do that collectively is Google Calendar, like our BFF. If it's not in Google Calendar,
it's not happening.
It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna forget about it. It's not important.
I've
even tried to get my boyfriend. Like, if it's not in Google Calendar, it's not a thing. So 100% use your Google Calendar or any other calendar that works for you. Some people are really old-fashioned and still prefer that like really nice planner. I tried that. It didn't really work for me. But find what works for you and do it. Do it consistently and like thoroughly. So like for me, I have Google Calendar, which I can have my different types of calendars. So it can be research, teaching, personal, bills. I have it all written down, and then they even have like a handy little like tasks thing that I can put my day-to-day agenda in, and it really just helps you meet your deadline. So time management isn't just for the day or the month. It's do your Google Calendar, whatever you use, and write down everything, your final exams, your program milestones, and it just gives you an ability to kind of have a holistic view on what you need to be doing and focusing on.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add besides if you're in a program where you're not necessarily working or doing a lot of things throughout the day-to-day and you're just going to class, like your first year of law school or all of law school, it's particularly important to break down your day. So don't just study for 5 hours. Write what you're going to study for those 5 hours and when you're turning from subject to subject, so that way you're being productive.
Right. How many chapters are you studying? At the end of the week, what concepts do you hope to have memorized? All of that. The more detailed, the better. So that's probably like the gold star for me, the time management. And as she said, if you want to not only survive but thrive, manage your time.
And if you have any apps that other grad students watching this use, let us know. Because I've tried and I've never
a couple other ones. Yeah. So then the last one is know your program. So every program is different. I'm sure every law school is different. Every PhD program is different. So really, either hopefully if you're a first-time graduate student and this is kind of your earlier stages in your career, like the biggest recommendation or tip is just know your program, get your feet wet, figure out the ins and the outs of what is going on, because it really is going to help you just be able to navigate and, again, not just survive, but thrive in that space.